Yo, what's happening guys, King GBL here and welcome back to a brand new Pokemon Go video. Guys, today I've got an absolute banger for you. We went 10-0 with this really broken Charm, Alolan, Shadow, Ninetales. This thing has too many names. Charm, Alolan, Shadow, Ninetales. Honestly, this Pokemon is absolutely broken. And look, I don't really use Charm usually, but this just worked insanely well. And the team composition I've got around this makes it extremely powerful. And that's why I was able to go 10-0. One of the matches I was quite lucky where the opponent misplayed, but in general, this was just getting extremely positive matchups. We're running it here with Medicham and Noctowl. Of course, if you go with the Alolan Ninetales lead, it wins a lot of leads against like your Swampert, Medichams, any fighting types, and it has a lot of neutral matchups with Charm. Nobody's really prepared for Charm anymore, and I'm not trying to like start a trend, but you guys are about to see Alolan Ninetales a lot more often, so I think you should probably consider running like a poison lead. This could be the return of Nidoqueen or definitely like Tentacruel. These battles are being showcased today in the Great League, but I feel like this will be very good in the Ultra League as well. So get out, get yourself an Alolan Ninetales, and let's hop into these battles guys. Before we hop into the video, thank you everybody for all the support on the videos. If you're brand new to the channel and if you enjoy this, go ahead and drop a sub. We've been doing this channel for just over a week. We're already at 500 subscribers man, so big shout out to you guys man, it is very much appreciated. And of course let me know in the comments, do you think this is a little bit too broken? You guys are going to see some insane wins with this thing. So just a little bit about the team composition and why this works so well. We get a pretty neutral matchup here at the start. We've got a Mew, of course, which can run whatever. They do decide to swap out, and that's what's amazing about this Pokemon. It'll draw out the steel types, and you've got Medicham in the back. Now, the more I think about it, you probably should be running a Power-Up Punch Medi for this. Maybe like Power-Up Punch, Ice Punch. Of course, Ice Punch will give you a little bit more play against the flying types in the meta, and Power Punch will be a little bit more dominant against steel types, because you'll see this matchup here, we actually are forced to shield because they'll get to a second Zap Cannon, and especially if they get the debuff, you're probably going to want to run Power Up Punch to basically put in that damage to Registeels and Bastiodons. The way I'm running this team here is, we're going for the Ninetales lead, which will more often than not get you a positive lead. Charms absolutely destroy any fighting types. It wins against Swampert, and of course like Altarias, and if you do get a flying type, you can always go for the Weather Ball, which with the boosted shadow damage is very, very threatening. So oftentimes you will get a swap out. More often than not, you'll get something that's weak to Medicham, or at least neutral, at the very least neutral to Medicham. We've got Noctowl in the back, which can run pretty rampant whenever you draw out the steel type, of course, with the Alolan Ninetales lead. There's not a lot of teams that are just double prepared for Charm. It is just very, very rare. Like, of course you will get that guy who's like, I run Toxapex every day, but that is pretty uncommon. And with Toxapex, you can obviously go for the Medicham swap anyway. With the Psychics and all that kind of stuff, you can put in a lot of work against that. But anyway, going into the matchup here, the opponent brings in an Abomasnow, which is basically weak to everything in our team. All we have to do here is to shield this up. We can go for the farm down here, which will be pretty easy. We do want to make sure they don't get to another Weather Ball, but we get the farm down in time, and in comes the Mew again. We're going to go for the Sky Attack straight away here, and I think the opponent might have slightly misplayed right here. They actually top lefted because they're like, oh, this is over. The opponent was running Wild Charge, so that game, in my opinion, was not over. I was trying to catch a move, obviously, in the Medicham right there. You never really know with Mew. I think I might have been miscounting as well, but I was expecting them to throw a Surf or something like that, but GG's to the opponent. We get a pretty positive lead here against Deoxys. As you can see, we're just kind of chunking them down, and I think if we bring this out to the 2-shield, I haven't actually looked a lot of this stuff up on PvPoke yet, but I feel like in the 2-shield this will be very positive. The opponent does have a Thunderbolt, we're going to go ahead and shield it up, and in general, we're trying to shift shields for the Alolan Ninetales, because, you know, of course, it has a decent amount of bulk, especially if you can get some good IVs, but in general, that's kind of what you do with Charm Pokemon. And in comes the Reggie, so we decide here we're going to bank a Weather Ball, we swap in, we do the aggro swap into the Medi, and the opponent is not swapping out here, so in my mind I'm like, okay, this is actually where my Medicham's going to come in clutch. If they're not swapping straight out, it might be weak to Medicham in the back. We'll go for this Ice Punch right here, and again this is where Power Punch would be just so much more clutch. Ice Punch, of course, it chips the Reggie, but that's about it. Let me know guys if you got yourself an Alolan Vulpix yet, if you've got yourself a Shadow Registeel. I actually got myself my first Registeel. The opponent goes ahead and throws the Zap Cannon. We're going to throw more Ice Punches, and you know, as you can see, this is a pretty close matchup actually, which is probably why Registeel is like the best Pokemon in the league. It's ranked #1 in the league. And in comes the Swampert. Pretty bad timing with the swap out right here. The opponent probably should have let me, well I guess I could have just farmed them down at that point. So I feel like the opponent should have came in with Swampert at the very beginning. We're going to come in with Noctowl here. We're just going to eat up all this Hydro Cannon damage. Noctowl should be able to get off a move here. We have a move banked on on our Ninetales. The opponent CMPs is right here because they did build up quite a lot, which I was kind of expecting that they would have obviously to earn. They might throw it straight away, but I just want to get this shield, and at this point the Alolan Ninetales can put in some damage. We've got a Weller Ball banked. The opponent definitely misplays here. They were miscounting. I was expecting another CMP tie right here, but of course I just had to go for it because it's my only real option. The opponent is forced to use their shield, and they swap back into the Registeel right here. We can just throw a Sky Attack here, which will basically force the Swampert to throw energy against this, and we'll go in for the Snipe here, go for the Weller Ball Snipe. I'm not 100% sure, you guys can let me know in the comments down below. Who would win CMP in this situation? I feel like either way, with a little bit of health left on my Medi. Obviously the Noctowl can do a little bit of farming as well. I think the opponent was going to struggle to get to enough Hydro Cannons to take out all 3 of my Pokemon right there, and that's a GG. Definitely the opponent could have threw a little bit sooner there. That probably could have been their win condition, but very positive lead right here, whether I'm running Weller Ball or Powder Snow or Charm. Look how much damage that's doing to a Swampert. We decide we're going to preserve our Ninetales, farm up a little bit of energy, swap out to Noctowl. Noctowl is just in here soaking up energy, basically. It is a big bulky bird, and it obviously threatens with the Shadow Ball and Sky Attack. Those do a lot of damage. So we're going to see if the opponent wants to go for shield here. In my opinion, that would be the most ideal scenario. They do shield it up here, and we're getting this down quite low. The opponent's going for the aggressive farm down, and I think we're just going to come in here with Medi, and again, just maybe consider soaking up some of this damage. We know we've got a very positive matchup against Altaria, and 2 shields on that Alolan Ninetales against whatever they have. I was predicting maybe a Trevenant in the back at this point. So I decided, okay, I'll get a little bit of energy, go for the Ice Punch, and it was a Trevenant. Either way, we're able to threaten with quite a high damaging move. We swap straight out here. We're going to charm down this Trevenant. I don't want to eat a Seed Bomb because it will definitely chunk on the Alolan Ninetales. And we can just go for the farm down. At this point, we're basically at a Weller Ball, and we've got like half a Weller Ball at this point as well. The opponent really has nowhere to go. These fast moves are just absolutely destroying the Altaria, and we should be able to just about one-shot with a Weller Ball. We don't need to throw in good timing or anything here. You'll see that I do throw on bad timing at times with Charm because it's something I don't really use. I usually use 2-turn fast moves quite a lot, so that's something I need to improve on, but in that case I had a shield, I just needed to throw it straight away. Didn't really make a difference. And yeah, on to the next one, guys. Man, Alolan Ninetales was just absolutely disgusting. And one thing I noticed, I chatted a little bit yesterday about the algorithm yesterday. I noticed that whenever you run a Charm lead, you start to run into more Charm Pokemon. And this is one where like I didn't really know what to do. I decided, okay, I'm going to preserve this, or I'm going to go for the Weller Ball. And I got a lot of lag there. Fortunately, they shielded, and we're just basically going to preserve it. Now, I thought this would be an Ice Punch. The opponent was probably trying to throw it against the Ninetales. We caught a Sucker Punch, unfortunately. I know I can survive an Ice Punch, and we're going to go ahead and just eat this. Yeah, Noctows they're not Ice Punch enjoyers per se. Nice little spicy team from the opponent. That's kind of funny, like the opponent has a Poison type right there, and that's technically a counter to, you know, Fairy types. So it's funny how the game matches you up with that. But I did start to see more Charms. And here's the thing, guys, with the algorithm, it matches you up against Pokemon that can counter yours or that you counter sometimes. So I feel like with this team composition, it's a strong team. And we're not playing this team like, oh look at us, we're just filthy charmers, just charming, tap tap tap. There actually is some sort of gameplay with this team. And Alolan Ninetales, I feel like, is quite a unique charmer where you can get to your Weller Balls fairly quickly compared to other charms. Like if you see a Shadow Grand Ball, you know that they're just tap tap tap. With this team, it is a little bit different. There is a little bit more play than just tapping your phone screen. We can farm down with the Medicham right here. Unfortunately, I thought I was losing the match at the stage because we did have to eat the Sky Attack. I was hoping just to get the farm down. And what is in the back? Of course, it is the Galarian Stunfisk. Now, this is very close right here. They do need to farm up to the Earthquake. I can definitely get to another Ice Punch in time, and that's about Ice Punch range right there. The opponent decides that they have to throw something and try to go for the win here. Their only real option was to try to go for the Earthquake. Unfortunately, they weren't able to make it in time, and I'm not sure if they would have. I wasn't counting that precisely. They might have been able to make that. That was definitely their only win condition. So if you're in that position in the future, guys, you do have to commit to the Earthquake because Rock Slides just do not do anything. So you're going to see what I mean here about whenever you're sort of matching up against Pokemon, Like, I have not seen a Shadow Gardevoir in a minute, but Alolan Ninetales is like, alright, bet, bro. You got a Shadow Gardevoir? Bet. Let me see you real quick. Not only do we get out of this matchup with a little bit of health, we actually get out with a Weather Ball, and I actually go for the fast move to try and throw in good timing, which is a little bit risky, but we do manage to get off this Weather Ball, and Sableye does not want to eat that. Look how much damage that one charm done to Sableye, and we can just come in with Noctowl at this point, and just try to eat whatever he's got. I feel like at this stage that Medicham might be strong to something in the back, but I do want to sort of hold on to my Noctowl just in case he's got like a fighter of his own, or a Trevenant or something in the back. I was thinking, could this potentially be like a Charm double Ghost line or something like that? So I wasn't convinced either way whether to just put all the shields on Medi. I wanted to just to give myself a little bit of flexibility and see what was in the back. And it is a Medicham. It's a good thing I decided to save my Noctowl. I think with 2 shields anyway, my own Medicham was going to clap that, so it didn't really make much of a difference, but there you go, Battle of the Charmers, and that is our first 5-0 set. Honestly guys, I was extremely surprised how well it's done. I had a notion like, hey, you know, nobody's really defending against Charm, but I didn't realize I was going to go 10-0. The funny thing is, I'm going to upload this video a little bit earlier than usual, because I want you guys to have an opportunity to use this before the Ultra League comes. But do power it up for the Ultra League. There's a lot of Pokemon in the Ultra League that is weak to Alolan Ninetales. Whether you go for the Powder Snow version or Charm, you'll be able to wreck like Giratinas, and there's a lot of Obstagoon and stuff flying around. So maybe the Charm would be good for obviously both of them Pokemon, being Dragon and Dark types. There's definitely a lot of Dragon and Dark types, and the occasional fighter like Scrafties and stuff like that. And we did get another positive lead, speaking of Dark types. This opponent here has just got themselves their very first, they're probably just TM'd off frustration on that Shiftry, and they're getting meted and greeted by an unfortunate Pokemon. We decide here we're going to come in with Noctowl. We're going to keep some health on that, because obviously we're going to shield the Noctowl as well, because we know that that beats the Shiftry, and we're pretty much just going to get to see what's in the back at this point. We'll see, is this opponent running triple weak to Noctowl, or triple weak to Charm? Let's have a look here. So I throw in bad timing. I assumed that that was a Charizard, so I just threw one and then obviously went for the Sky Attack, but in general, against Talonflame, you throw 2 fast moves. If you're running a 2-turn fast move yourself, and then you go for your own, you basically run a 2, 4, 6, 8. You basically want to throw it in between their Incinerates, so we do get a little bit better timing there. And I decide, like, you know, I've no reason to let this Noctowl go. Like, it doesn't really matter at this point. All of my Pokemon are very positive against Shiftry. I can Charm it down, I can counter it down, I can Wing Attack it down. It doesn't matter at this stage, so I just go for the Snipe here with the Weather Ball, which is quite nice. If you do happen to swap out your Ninetales, coming in with that Weather Ball Snipe is quite nice. And look at the chunk. Look at the absolute chunk. I think that would have, was that 3 shots? I think it would have 4-shotted the Shiftry. Of course, it being a Shadow, it's doing all that more. It might have been like a 5-shot, but the opponent just wants to cry at this point. Like, if I was running up against this team composition and I was running those Pokemon, I would probably just, you know, turn my phone off, and yeah. Yeah, it's not great for the opponent, but I guess that's what you get. Like, they were running pretty weak to all of my Pokemon right there, so that's kind of what I noticed. Like, no offense to you guys if you use Charm, but Charmers tend to not be like great at team composition, and they're trying to kind of cheese their way through their elo. You do tend to see a lot of bad team compositions whenever you run a Charm team yourself, so that's kind of a benefit of it. With the way the matchmaking works, it seems to match you up against all our Charmers, and as you've seen earlier, it matched me up with the Haunter. We're going ahead and throw the Shadow Ball here, and I just get so much lag. You might not have seen it there, but I'm getting so much lag. I might have to get myself a new phone. We're going to fire off the Sky Attack here, put a little bit of pressure on the Altaria, see what they want to do. They decide to let that go, realizing that the Alolan Ninetales is going to absolutely obliterate them. They do decide to, you know, let everything go in the Altaria, and at this point we can just go for the farm up with either of these Pokemon really. We just come in with the Ninetales here, just 2-shot it down. We'll see what the opponent has. They come back in with the Swampert. We throw the Weather Ball straight away, putting pressure on that shield, and yeah, we can basically just Charm down at this point. We're going ahead and invest a shield. We do not necessarily want to eat anything on Ninetales. As you guys seen earlier, like, it can eat a move. I decided, because they had 2 Hydro Cannons, I decided to swap out and farm down with the Medi, leave me a move against their next Pokemon. And they realize it's probably a GG. They must have had something weak in the back. And like I said, that's the amazing thing about this team. You're always, like, with that Charm lead, you're getting so many swap outs, and you're just basically pushing the battle in your favor. and that's why I consider this to be a little bit different than your average Charmer. A little bit of an interesting lead right here. The opponent's got Galvantula, not the Shadow one. I did see Jonkus's video on that, and look how much it's chunking. I decided, okay, I'm not going to eat any moves on my Ninetales. We're just going to swap it out and eat something on the midi. The opponent to stay in here, and we're able to farm up here. I think we threw on CMP. I realized the opponent would go ahead and throw that. I believe I can just about live another move right here, and we're going to see what the opponent really wants to do. Galvantula is a bit of a problem for the team. It probably does quite well against Alolan Ninetales, and it certainly has a great matchup against my my Noctowl. We've got it chunked down very, very low here, so we can come back in and just charm it down, which it is so broken, guys, it really is. They've got a Swampert, we throw one fast move, go for the charge move, which is good timing. Let's see what the Swampert wants to do. They definitely do not want to eat anything, and I try to go for like somewhat of a catch here. The opponent's gonna farm up like crazy with the Swampert. Again, like we're just damage sponging with the Noctowl. Per Noctowl, he's just eating all the charge moves. We're going ahead and throw another Sky Attack. I believe the opponent was at, again, I'm not counting while watching the recording, obviously I was counting at the time, but I believe the opponent could have thrown another Hydro. In comes the Abomasnow, which again is just pretty weak to our whole team, and they'd obviously they have no choice but to let that go. We're going to farm all the way down, and there's basically nothing the Swampert can do here. That's a GG. I've actually started seeing a little bit of Abomasnow today. It is a Pokemon that I do want to run because it is quite powerful in the current meta. Abomasnow and Frostlass lead are quite strong. Guys, today I was going to actually upload a video of a very strong team with Medicham and Frostlass. Look at the damage on that Sableye. And of course, once again, we draw out the Steel type. But after going 10-0 with this and with the Great League finishing, I just had to upload this and show you guys just how insanely powerful this Pokemon is. So tomorrow's video probably won't be an Ultra League video. It will be another Great League video with me going 8-2 with a good team. But yeah, the opponent's like, what is the opponent supposed to do at this point? We're going to go ahead and let this Rock Slide go. Yep, it is just the Rock Slide. And again, I think the opponent top lefts here, they're like, oh, what is this? What is this trash? What is this absolute trash that you're facing me with? I probably have never had so many top lefts than I had with this team, because it's such a dominant team if you get a good matchup. Like, I'm just trying to think, like, what could possibly be like a real problem for this team? Definitely Lanturns are a bit of a problem, but Dragonair certainly is not a problem for this team. They're going to have to swap straight out, and in comes the Lantern, and I decide here, okay, I'm going to charm it down a little bit, and leave it a little bit more comfortable for my Medicham. Medicham can take this. We're going to let the first move go here. See if the opponent wants to go for a bait. They usually do go for the Thunderbolt first, so if you're looking for a more comfortable matchup, you probably do shield the first one. 9 out of 10 times, they do not bait the first one when it's Lantern versus Medi, because it's pretty obvious that you can tank a Thunderbolt. It only brings you down to around half health, so if you want to put yourself in a better position for this matchup, as you can see, the opponent can now start throwing Surfs, so if you want to definitely like try to take Switch, go ahead and do that. But we're going to let this one go. This is only going to be a Surf, and we know that we can just about survive it. I'm going to go for the Ice Punch right here, because that will get it down to the point where it might be like a Simul KO, which would be perfect. And yeah, the opponent goes ahead and shields right there. So at this stage, we can basically do either. We can farm down with the Ninetales or the Noctowl. We're waiting the timer down, but of course we're going to come in with the Ninetales. Why would we not? We're going to just absolutely charm this thing to death. Guys, I hate Charm. I'm going to be honest, I hate Charm. I was so happy when it was nerfed. This is probably the first time I've used Charm in about... it's a very long time. Why is he coming in with Dragonair? Why could you possibly want to come in with Dragonair? We're going to absolutely one-shot it here. Per Dragonair, and yeah, it's a chestnut in the back. I was going to show him the Noctowl just to be like, yeah, this is not going to go well for you, buddy. But either way, you can see the power of Alolan Ninetales right there. And that is yet another 5-0 set, guys. Alolan Ninetales is completely broken. And here's a little Marini, guys. I think you might want to consider building a Toxapex. I think Nidoqueen is just a little bit too weak in the meta currently, but definitely consider building a Toxapex or a Tentacruel, because Alolan Ninetales is just running rampant out here. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, drop a subscribe to the channel. We're on 550 subs. Let's try to get up to 600 and hopefully up to 1,000 quite soon. Very much appreciated, guys. Drop me a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on Alolan Ninetales. And with all that being said, guys, most importantly, have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll catch you guys tomorrow for another really strong Great League team, and the following day we'll do some Ultra League. Also guys, if you have any battles you'd like to submit, there will be a link in the description down below, and I can react to your battles for you. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, I'll catch you guys next time.